Live in the studios, the manager of Opposition Business, Paul Fletcher. A lot to get across today in the Senate. There's already been quite a bit of action. A motion moved by your Senate counterpart, Senator Birmingham, criticising from the river to the sea that phrase and calling for a unified Senate and having a civil debate, basically, and the government supporting that motion. The Greens voting against it, as did Lydia Thorpe. Senator Fatima Payman, who made some remarks and used that phrase that caused the discussion. She wasn't in the Senate. But do you welcome the fact that the leadership, Senator Wong, Gallagher, Farrell, all voted with the opposition on that?
Well, it was a motion stating a very important principle, and of course, moved by Senator Birmingham. I do welcome the fact that that it was voted for by Labor parliamentarians. I think Senator Payman's comments were extremely unfortunate. They were completely at odds with what the Prime Minister himself has said about that chant and about the importance of social cohesion. I have the second largest Jewish community of any electorate in New South Wales. My constituents are telling me they are concerned for their safety. It is very important that we have mutual trust and respect between the many diverse religious, ethnic communities in our country. We are one of the world's most successful multicultural nations. I'm proud to represent an electorate with 4 synagogues, but also a mosque, the Hornsby Dawa Centre. I visited the mosque, I visited the synagogues, and what I want to see, I think what all fair-minded Australians want to see, is a strong commitment to maintaining mutual trust and tolerance and respect. And unfortunately, what we saw from Senator Payman was the opposite of that commitment.
There's been a call for the Prime Minister to show leadership on this. Do you think that what you saw in the Senate reflects that? Because that was a show of unity and criticism, repudiation of anti-Semitism there.
The Prime Minister does need to show leadership, and he needs to reflect carefully on what he needs to do to demonstrate that. We know that the Labor Party...
His whole team voting with
we know that
opposition's not a bad start, surely.
We know that the Labor Party has, very strong discipline. So let's see the Prime Minister deal with this appropriately. A very strong signal needs to be sent that community leaders, people in positions of leadership, including a senator, ought not be stoking the fires of division and mistrust.
But you also got to be fairly cautious, don't you, in how you respond to these matters too? Because as you said earlier, we don't want any sow the seeds of discord, do we? So the responses also needs to be calibrated.
The coalition's
carefully.
Call is for the Prime Minister to show leadership on this. He has all the resources of the Office of Prime Minister. He needs to determine what he needs to do, but we certainly do call on him to show leadership. This is a very important issue.